Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 237 of bulking to 75 kilos and getting a 75 kilo pistol squat. And I'm talking about added weight right there. So it would be like double body weight. But anyway, right, I am going to build some volume, like a big base with some volume today, which I've been doing over the past couple trainings as well. You know, for me, getting 60 kilos on the pistol squat is already a very big hurdle. You know, last time when I tried this before going to Japan, I basically just failed. And I think the reason is because I tried to rush into it, you know. I didn't build my base. Instead, what I did is I just squatted as heavy as possible for like 2 sets every time. And it would be, you know, one to 2 reps in total, you know, or I guess every set. And by doing that, yes, you can peak temporarily into a bigger weight, but it doesn't really build the base. You know, you build your base by building some volume, by getting some sets, by getting, you know, used to the movement pattern and so on. And you do that at a lower weight. So I'm going to patiently build my base. I assume I have like a couple months left in the bulk, right? Right until probably about the end of the year. So I'm just going to make use of that period and try to build a bigger base as possible. Now, last time I did 40 reps in total in one training with 36 kilos, 10 sets of 4. I would say that's a pretty good base. Now I'm just going to move on with a tiny bit of a heavier weight and try to get the same amount of reps, you know, not today, but eventually. Today, I'll just be doing, I think 5 sets of 3 reps would be a very nice goal to have. But then from there on, you know, on the next training, we can build up, you know, we can do 5 sets of 4 reps or, you know, eventually 10 sets of 4 reps again. And basically that will allow me to, you know, get used to this certain weight before moving on to the next one. And then in that way, I can gradually build the base. And then once there is a sufficient base, you know, once I know that I'm stronger than ever before, that's when we can start peaking into heavier weight in general. So yeah, let's go. First set. That's one set done. I'm gonna do the sets alternating style, like last time. I used to do them just left and right, reps after each other, but then it starts to be difficult to like kind of hold the weight up. So instead, I halve the rest time from every 4 minutes to every 2 minutes, and I basically do my left and my right separately, which last time it worked out for me. So let's see what happens. There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home. That's 5 sets. Now, it's a light day today. I'm not gonna go all the way to my limit. You know, I want to spare myself for a max planche hold in 2 days, but I am gonna do one more set with 40 kilos here, trying to get more than 3 reps. You know, if I can get 6 reps or something, you know, that would be very nice. So, one more YOLO set. Well, I guess 2 because I have to do them on both legs, but yeah, let's see what happens. Okay. Fuck. I did not fail a rep, but I think that was failure. Holy shit. 5 reps. That's good news, right? We can try 5 sets of 4 reps next time. Now it's just a little break and repeating on the other side. Okie dokie, boys and girls. So there's gonna be one last set, but it's not gonna have any weight to it, just body weight pistol squats. Now for the weighted pistol squats, 40 kilos, I think it's actually a lifetime PR when it comes to volume in one training with 40 kilos, 5 sets of 3, and then another one of 5. I'm quite happy with that. That's 20 reps in total, quick maths. But, there's lots of ways to get stronger, right? For example, when it comes to the front lever, I often talk about doing the same amount of volume and trying to add a little more difficulty each time. You could do the same with your pistol squat, where you have the same amount of squats every time and you add some weight to it, right? But also what I'm doing right now is something different. I'm using the same difficulty and trying to do it for more volume. Now, which of these methods is better? There is no answer to it, You just take something, you try it, and if it sticks, if it works, well, then keep fucking using it. And that's kind of what's happening with the front lever, where I increase difficulty, but the same thing is happening with the pistol squats right here, where I increase the amount of volume. So yeah, that's everything about that. There is no one true way to grow stronger, you just pick something, you try it, and if you become stronger, you keep using it. And if it stops working, you stop using it. But the most important thing is to just keep training in general. Anyway, I'm gonna do bodyweight pistol squats, alternating 1 rep left, 1 rep right. Every 2 seconds I'm gonna do a squat. Last time I only got 19 reps on each leg for this. Or I believe so, because I lost count to be honest, and I did not double check. But in my mind, I have to beat 19 reps, because that's fucking pathetic, So let's see what happens. $56, or I guess that makes 28 per leg. Whew. I'm gonna catch my breath and then we can discuss today's training. But I'm not too, I'm not too sad about this result, I'm quite satisfied. It's a shame that the banger is coming on right now because I'm just fucking dead. And I'm not gonna train anymore. Skillet monster, Whew. Okie dokie. I am quite satisfied with the entire training in general, even though, it's just a light training. I did not do too many sets to failure. I guess 2 at the end, but the last one was body weight, so I guess I'll recover quite quickly. But why I'm satisfied with this training is because it's just, following the same recipe and getting the same delicious cake every time. For the past couple trainings, right? Just pick a weight, do some squats, pick the same weight again next time, and do some more squats. And when you've got enough squats, add a bit of weight, and just rinse and fucking repeat. Now, of course, it's gonna stop working eventually, right? Everything does, nothing lasts forever, but in the meantime, if I'm satisfied with the cake that's coming out of the oven with the recipe that I'm using, I'm just gonna keep baking the fucking cake, right? Because it's delicious, right? And I love the result. And then eventually when I get tired of the cake, when the results are not, coming as I hope they would, I'm gonna change something. But for now, just rinse and repeat, and a lot of training is just rinse and repeat. It's in the name, repetition. But don't get it twisted, True repetition is the same thing over and over and over again. It's, doing the dishes and they become dirty again, so you wash them again. It's doing the laundry and you wear the clothes and they become dirty again, right? If you can do that consistently without any complaining, that's still discipline. But in training, people often talk about discipline, but the only really discipline that you need is to just hold yourself accountable that in the times you don't progress, at least you continue training something, right? Something to keep you on track. But other than that, even though you're doing repetitions, you're doing the same thing, it's never really the same. Because today I did 5 sets of 3. A couple weeks ago, I also did 5 sets of 3, but then it was with 36 kilos. Now it's with 40. Perhaps in a couple weeks, it will be with 44 kilos, right? And there's this gradual line of progression there. It's never the same. It's something excited because you're doing things that you weren't even capable of before. Like you're watching your own transformation live and you're executing it and you're feeling it. It's this game where you can, do hard stuff, gain experience points, and then they go into the thing that you've been training for, They make your character stronger. That's fucking exciting. And let me tell you, it's the best game out there because it's the most realistic one, right? Everyone loves a realistic game. You slay an enemy and you feel the controller vibrating or something, right? People love that shit. But when you're doing your training, right, and you're doing a squat, you're feeling everything. You feel the effort that you have to put in. You feel the reward afterwards, the feeling of satisfaction. It's like no other. So training is the best game that you can play in life. I don't know what the fuck is happening with these post-training yaps lately, but I start somewhere at topic, like just rinse and repeat, and then end up somewhere completely different. Anyway, that's it for today's training. I'm just gonna, have a shower, have some breakfast, and rest up for tomorrow. I really have to lock in, the food that I'm eating this weekend. I have some people coming over, but regardless, to just keep it decent so that I can really push myself on Monday for a planche PR because oh boy, in 20 seconds of planche. I'm so excited. Tomorrow we have hamstrings first though. Also very exciting because, oh yeah, perhaps a new volume PR. Yeah, let's see tomorrow.